Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. This is me, and I'm here for a reading. Today is the International Loving Day, and so I thought that it would be proper to get a love tarot reading. Now, I've got three different decks here. I've got a sensual deck from Russia. I got from maybe 15, 20 years ago. Then the Oracle, and lovely Oracle deck. And my picture postcards that will be drawn from. So I'm going to start first with, it'll be several readings for this question. And we know that it, like I said, it's the International Loving Day. And the question that I posed was, should we give up on them? Should we give up on them? All right, so as I start to mix, I'm going to briefly let you know that this week as well, I hold lessons in movement, grace consciousness, that's one, voice consciousness, and breathwork consciousness. And the first lesson is free, very interesting lessons. Write to me at one of these emails that you have on the border up and down, and I'll set you up, but you have to let me know your time zone, where you're located, so I can tell you when the schedule is. Okay? Now, it's a Sunday and probably a Monday for those down under, but it is still International Loving Day. And let's see if we are going to give up on them. Oh, this flew out. This definitely flew out. And then another. Okay, so move this away. And this is the suspense. This is Suspense. Ah, there you go. Suspense by Charles Burton. And this is upside down, yeah. Gustav Klimt, The Tree of Life. What's interesting is you can turn it upside down actually and not know the difference. So let me mix these tarot cards and see what comes up in this. Should we give up? Because sometimes it's not that easy black on white to give up on people. And what we see is there are couples who have been together for such a long time, but who are still fed up and would never, because of their culture, ever dream, or because of their condition, their social condition, or just their mindset, would never dream of leaving their partner. And then there are those who just can't put up with each other and decide to leave then. But let's see how the answer comes out here. Okay, we've got 6 cards. And then the last I'm going to take out for this first, these are very huge cards, these Oracle cards decks, this Oracle card deck. Let me take a look, and we shall, okay, now, you can see this is, where is that, upside down? Yeah, power, the card of power. Then there is this we already saw, which was suspense, a little girl and a dog. They're praying over food, and it was called Suspense. And of course, the Tree of Life. Now I have all of these other cards. Now if you become offended by the images, please turn the video off now. This is the Judgment card. The Judgment card. The King of Swords. We've got the 9 of Swords. My God, a terrible vision of a woman working on a man's teeth. 7 of Pentacles. I've got the Six of Wands and the Two of Wands. Look, as a first response, should I give up on them? It looks like the cards are telling you that there is a lot more to work with in relation to the person you hold dear. And this card of the Oracle card Power is ambivalent in the sense that it has several layers of meaning, and it depends on how the reading is shifted. For example, if you are in for the long haul, okay, if you're in for the long haul with the Tree of Life, and there is an unsettling situation with a power imbalance, it could be anything. It could mean that you have lost your job and your partner has not, and that tips the scales in their favor often. And when you are powerless, it may reflect a financial situation at times. And that is one response, saying that this is not the time to give up on them because they are in a position of helping you. But then I have, and this leads me to the Six of Wands here, which does always spell success if you decide to stay. And this regards couples who are in for the long haul. Either they're married or they have purchased property together, they live together. There is a commitment of some sort. This situation here is also flanked by the idea of the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands is always a card that speaks of, perhaps you could see it better this way, that always speaks of being head-to-head. Not tete-a-tete as in a relationship, no, but head-to-head in terms of your battling it out, the battle of the fittest, who is the strongest. And you still have a lot to go, those who are partnered and who have been partnered for a long time. So this side to the reading is saying, yes, stay together, because the Seven of Coins tells you there is much to be done yet. But what do we have here on this side of the reading? We again, starting with the Power and the suspense. Now, this is a different ball game. This is a different message. Why? Because we have here the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is a card that tells you there's a lot of fear. There's a lot, it has nothing to do with who is more powerful or who is powerless. It has to do with both of you not coming to terms with an idea, with the decision. Neither of you want to make the decision. Whereas this situation does describe one of you, perhaps you who are listening to the reading, or the other party who have accepted to stay in the relationship because one of you has lost their job or are powerless and the other is powerful. Here, we have both parties in the relationship, whether it's a dating game, whether it is a full-time relationship and has been for years and years or months and months. There's a situation is a little more difficult. There's fear on both sides. Both sides are fearful because they're not ready to break it off. Both sides are unhappy, however. We do have here the King of Swords. Now, the King of Swords is a very swift, fast worker. And it does talk of a male air sign. The male air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And as well, there is the Judgment card. Here, this Judgment card tells me to tell you that there is, for many of you, I'm looking at 65%, a situation that you are both leading and leaning towards a legal separation if you are legally bonded. You are considering that legal separation. And if you are not, it does this judgment card tells us that this is the period when something gets decided. And however, it also tells me that no matter which way you decide, legally or not, both parties come away with a bitter taste. Now, probably you're going to have to listen to this reading again when you have listened to it at least once. So I'm going to pick up these cards again and roll out another set. Wet my whistle there. Another set to be able to respond to more clarification. This is one has come out. There's the other has come out. Ah, these two ladies. Lady with a book. Lady with the book. And doesn't this look funny? And does exactly almost the same thing. She's a young woman. The title of the work is Young Woman Reading a Book of Hours. All right. Now, they are both in a reading mode. This is very, very important. Let's take the Oracle card. Interesting, this is quite interesting. I have to say, I've got to say, it is just really, really, really interesting. Let's see. Okay. Now, focus. Now, the cards here are telling us something huge, because this is the time you really need to make decisions. You really need to make decisions in relation to what am I going to do? Give up on them or not? Let me take this deck again, which is humorous in many ways, but it's also very telling. I rarely use it on camera. I do use it in private readings, but today is the International Loving Day, so let's take a look. Let me turn it around for you so you can probably see it. I will show you these cards individually. Now, first one that has come out is the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords. I'm going to turn it back for me so I can see it. The Six of Swords, and we have the Star. The Six of Swords, the Star. Look at this. This is beautiful. The Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune. We've got the, what is it called? The Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles, they call it the Knave, the Page of Pentacles. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. These are gorgeous cards, really gorgeous. The energy from this spread right here. And the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups. This card reminds me of the Alice in Wonderland deck that I have to use again in the future. Now, the focus. All right, so let's, should I give up on them? And we had that first part of the reading, right? Here we're asking for clarification, and we got focus. And the focus here came out after two important fine arts painting postcards that talk about a book of hours and reading a book. This talks about documentation. This talks about you going back and reviewing putting things on a scale, right? You're putting things on a scale and raising it to the level of, when we talk of a book of hours, we talk of a spiritual level. Not exactly the scriptures, but similar. It is your spirituality, black on white, in terms of love. Now, what the cards are telling you, and telling all of us, is that if you're going to give up, you have to face you, yourself, and first of all, disrobe and see your soul in relation to that other person. And think and listen to that inner voice to have it respond to you when you ask, should I give up on them? Because quite frankly, the Swords cards, the Six of Swords, is telling you that you are moving, you're going toward a better place with this person. Excuse me. I have some tea here. And the Star also tells you that there is orientation for you. There is a way to move, going right into the Wheel of Fortune. These cards are telling you, if you take the time and look hard and look long into yourself and come to terms, put those, your musings, put your concentration, put your, all of those documents, all of those Akashic Records documents, that's what I'm looking for. The information in the sky, in the universe, all right? And we have the Page of Pentacles, that is a messenger telling you that this is a spiritual messenger. When we talk about pentacles in the tarot, almost always they have to do with spirituality, spiritual messengers, and messages. And here we have a great love for those of you who, after considering the first part of the reading, come in and get clarification for how to move or how to make a decision based on the first part of the reading. Because then we've got this Nine of Pentacles. This Nine of Pentacles is such an abundance. It's abundance in many sense, spiritually, economically, emotionally, romantically. But then, what is behind everything? Why are we asking ourselves? Why are you here listening and getting answers? Is because you have this Four of Cups card. That is where the tarot tell you, okay, if you're feeling like that, if you're feeling no longer in love, if you're feeling no longer enthusiastic, no longer passionate about that person, and I would say even bordering on bored. What we mean by putting things on a scale is revisiting the experiences that you've had together and understanding you yourself. Is it a problem that you are experiencing because you are unhappy with your own life? Or is it truly a crisis in the couple? And are both members of the couple using the other person to blame for unhappiness that they have with themselves? I've seen it. You know that I work with couples. You know that I work with individuals, and I see this always, always, always. That it's many times the unhappiness of the person, the dissatisfaction with their own lives. Now, this opens up another question, this Four of Chalices, the Four of Cups, that I'm going to pull with first an oracle card, and then, here, this is dying to come out. Trust. There it is. The answer's right there. They're talking tonight. Trust. It is a matter of trust. Can you trust that other person? Can you trust yourself in relation to how you are feeling? Putting this right here in the center and taking 3 more tarot to wrap this reading up. and see what comes out of it. This is interesting. We've got the Page of Swords. Again, this is another message. And Messenger, and I'll talk about that. Then Page of Swords, the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands, we know those, the Eight of Wands in Tarot speak are the Wands of Love. And the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. Look. This card, the Page of Swords, is telling you you need to communicate. But there's a two-pronged response here. The communication, inner communication, like we just said with the two book, the Book of Hours and the book, inside yourself, but also with that other person. And that is the only way the Eight of Wands will be shooting, the shooting wands of love. Or, if this is not done, they mirror each other. The Seven of Swords is a clash, but not necessarily directly one against the other, but an inner clash that you will feel. This reading and the second half of specifying and clarifying tells you you need to communicate with yourself and with others, with the other partner. That is the only way that you will avoid inner conflict and outer conflict. I do hope this reading was of help for you on this International Loving Day, and all of you who have are subscribed to my channel. If this is the first time, welcome, and subscribe. Push that notification button. It will tell you when I go live and when I have new videos up. Tuesday, I will be commemorating Sushant Singh Rajput live here. And it's announced on my YouTube channel. And again, one last shout out for these lessons in movement. These lessons in movement are extremely interesting for people who are suffering from chronic fatigue and chronic pain. Low energy, extremely low energy. Also, again, write me and I will set you up. Let me know where your time zone is. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. Until we read together again, see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye. Tough to shut off.